Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition. I am your host, Sam Woo, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker, undisclosed location, beautiful New Jersey, and cross-continent to the Michael J. Fox studios in beautiful Beverly Hills, California. It's Scotty, a Sirius XM Liquid Metal, as we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and on Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network. Beer Baron is on assignment today.
Yeah. Well, first off, let's go and say happy. I just hit my mic.
Yes,
and I muted myself. At the same time. Wow. Aren't I a radio professional? Let's say a big old happy Mother's Day out there to all the moms, the hockey moms, the band moms. You know, my mom would let us jam at the house and blast her ears to oblivion all the time. But yeah, big shout to all the moms out there. We saw some mom trip luck a few years ago with the Devils. But yeah, if you are a mom, thank you. And to my mom out there, I was just talking to her on the phone. Happy Mother's Day again. I'm sure she's tuning into this podcast right now. 100%.
I'm sure.
She never misses it. Yes. Yeah, my mom knows how to use YouTube. Oh, boy. No, but a big happy Mother's Day out there to all the moms. Thank you.
Yes. To all the moms out there.
To all the moms. That's right.
Yeah, to all the moms. I mean, moms are
If we
important.
have any moms in the chat, feel free to shout yourself out there.
Yeah.
Or if anyone wants to shout their mom out.
Yeah.
Or maybe their significant other. Maybe you have a family. We have our great Nikki, who is probably, probably cooking for herself on Mother's Day. With Beer Baron just sitting there saying, when's dinner going to be ready? When's dinner going to be ready?
Actually, since he's not on here, I'll even add to that. You know, teachers, they have the summers off. I bet you anything, Beer Baron has the summers off and then waits for Nikki to come home to cook dinner for the two kids and him.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I bet you anything.
And every chore around the house as well. So, I didn't know which one you wanted me to do first. So I figured I'll just wait and see,
I was playing with the kids.
I was
babysitting my own kids.
Nikki goes and talks to the girls. Daddy won't leave us alone. Oh, but yeah, once again, happy Mother's Day out there to all the moms. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah.
Cooking us breakfast, sending us off to school, driving us to, if you're a hockey mom, I'm sure you're getting up early as hell in the morning to drive the kids over to practice. Baseball, basketball, football, no matter what, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
Yeah. And the NHL put out a nice thing on social media of the players and their moms. You had some players around the league. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. I didn't get to see that one, but
yeah.
Cool. Good job.
I saw Connor Bedard's mom and Connor, from the Blackhawks. Yeah.
Keep who was it? Was it Corey Perry? Keep Corey Perry. Connor's mom's got it going on. Oh boy.
That's another AI song in the making.
Oh man. Well, we got some exciting playoff action going on. The Canadiens are up over the Sabres right now. I think it's 4-2. They're in second intermission, if I'm seeing that correctly. My TV's kind of blocked there in
Buffalo
the bottom.
Buffalo scored a power play goal.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was a penalty on Montreal, and again, great atmosphere in Montreal. Pre-game, pregame. They just let the fans do what fans do. Very simple, and the emotion is there. The lighting, the fans waving the towels. Playoff hockey is very special. Very special. And yesterday, Flyers got eliminated.
That's right.
Flyers got eliminated by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Carolina Hurricanes are still undefeated in the postseason now. They are 8-0. Colorado lost to Minnesota. So Carolina is now the only remaining undefeated team in the playoffs. 2 sweeps back to back. Yikes. They seem pretty scary this year.
I will say this, Scotty, and this is not to take away from Carolina. They are a good team. I'm not saying they're not. But the 2 teams that they blew by barely made it to the playoffs. They basically made the playoffs in the last week of the season. I don't think they've been challenged yet. I mean, Ottawa tried to bring the physicality in that game 4. The Philadelphia Flyers, were coming off of a Keystone Cup victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then Carolina was very well rested, and just the Flyers couldn't get anything going after game 1. Like, it just game 1, they got blown out. And the Flyers, they put a nice effort in, but I think Carolina, they're going to be well rested. Montreal and Buffalo are beating the crap out of each other. But Carolina is the only veteran team left with playoff experience. Like Montreal and Buffalo, they're up and coming.
That's true.
Same with the Flyers. Same with Ottawa. When they, blew Tampa Bay, got knocked out. The Boston Bruins, and the Penguins. So, again, it's and this is not a knock on Carolina at all. I think they have an easier path, to the Stanley Cup Finals. And in the Western Conference, you've got the Colorado Avalanche, you got the Vegas Golden Knights with veterans that have been there, done that before. Minnesota, again, is one of these teams that added Quinn Hughes and just have a different dynamic team. Anaheim Ducks, they're overachieving. They're in the second round. But they could give the Knights a run for their money. They could.
No, I think that'll be a competitive series. The thing, what you're saying, and I think that's true about Carolina, but the thing is, they're 8-0.
And Freddie Anderson showed up. He showed up in a big way.
He always shows up in the playoffs. See, that's it. It's like, playoff? Let me punch my card. Time to check in. Okay, great. But what a monster come playoff time. But Carolina, they've dominated. What you're saying about Ottawa and Philly, 100% true. But the thing is, they just steamrolled over them the way you would expect a team like that to, perform against these teams without all those veteran leadership and playoff experience like you were talking about. So I'm still impressed by them because it was just sheer dominance in those games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were physical. They were in position the entire time. They didn't let anything bother them. They pretty much had the lead in most of these games, in those 8 playoff games that they won.
Yeah. Did they have? I think they only didn't have the lead once, right? The last game in Philly, right? That was the only one that didn't have a lead on.
No, I think there was another, but it was short lived. So
okay,
but again, it's
nicely done, Ted and Steven. Very good with the Karate Kid references. They are sweeping the leg. That's right.
Oh yeah, Karate Kid.
Sam Woo actually saw that movie.
I don't remember it though.
You don't remember the Karate Kid?
Growing up,
Wax on, wax off.
well,
Nothing. Sweep the leg.
You know what? You know what sucked growing up in New Jersey is being like the only Asian kid in school, and everybody thought that I knew karate. So they were like, oh, "Do you know karate? Do you know this move?" Because of Karate Kid. So that sometimes Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi and all that, everyone makes the references and all that. I don't know karate. I don't know any of that stuff. I feel like I failed as an Asian, to be honest with you.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you know what you do know, Sam Woo, is legendary hair. I mean,
oh, thank you.
That lettuce on top of that head right there is woo, baby. That is first class going on. You're almost like Conan O'Brien with that waff going on to the side, buddy.
Oh yeah, actually, that's hat hair for me because I was wearing a hat before.
That's hat hair?
Yeah, so that actually happens after I wear a hat. I was wearing my Penn State hat around town today.
Just natural volume for Sam Woo?
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed with hair. I believe it comes from my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember my grandfather had a lot of hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember. He had a lot of hair. So,
Metalander says, I hate to break it to you, Sam, but you're a garden variety American guy just like me. Oh, man. I wish I knew karate. My friend keeps trying to get me to do jujitsu. And I'm just like, man, I don't want to get my ass kicked for like an hour for a couple years straight before I realize what I'm doing.
Come to think of it, I did take a karate class. I think it was probably in college, and it was breaking the piece of wood, and I actually did it. I actually did.
Wow.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know what we're doing at the the season opener at American Whiskey next year. We're getting some piles of wood. And Sam Woo's breaking them.
Yeah. Well, I used to break hockey sticks over my knee, if I was mad.
Mm-hmm.
But that's,
No. We're going to have to do the chop the boards.
Chop the boards?
Yeah. We'll have Beer Baron hold it right in front of his face so you can just punch right through it and then clock him in the nose.
Now it's going off the rails, this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right, let's bring it back.
Yeah, let's talk about
Devils.
Let's talk about the front office.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I've seen a lot of rumors out there. I think we're gonna be getting a good dose of this over the course of the summer. I know Beer Baron was flipping out because some podcast was discussing trading Nico Hischier for Austin Matthews. I don't know if that would happen. I don't think Nico is going anywhere. Sam Woo, do you know who happened to work for the Devils when Nico Hischier was drafted? Do you know who was doing a lot of the scouting then? It was this guy named Sonny. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. He went around a couple different little places,
Actually, you know what I want to know?
What's that?
Because back then, it was either Nico or Nolan.
Yes.
And I'm wondering what kind of impact Sonny had in those days on that decision making with the late Ray Shuro,
I think he had a good impact on it. And just reading some blurbs from Sonny, the second person he called after he got the job was Nico Hischier. And they had a nice long discussion about things. And, I don't foresee a trade like that happening. I do see Shimo Nemitz, Casey, Dougie Hamilton, Dawson Mercer, the 12th overall pick. I do see all those in play, but I just don't think Sonny is going to trade Nico Hischier. I think unless it's a
stalemate in terms of getting this extension done. Say if they're way off. Say if like Nico Hischier's agent says you deserve $17 million a year, and Sonny's at 11.5.
I think like somewhere between 10.5 and 11.5 is where Nico should line up. I think that's 10.5 would be obviously a team friendly deal.
Yeah.
I think 11.5 would be a player friendly deal. So if they get around to like 11 million, I think that's fine. As the captain who's, been with this team and plays his heart out on the ice, I think it'd be good for him to be the first double digit, salary like that on the team, because we really, really need, according to Elliot Friedman, we really need the Colorado Avalanche to whoop the Minnesota Wild, because we don't want Quinn Hughes thinking, oh, I got a shot with this team.
At least one more year. He has a shot with this team at least one more year.
Yeah, I just don't want old Billy G being like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a 3-year deal. No problem, kid. And then Jack and Quinn are free agents at the exact same time. What we need is for Colorado to just wipe the floor with Minnesota. So Quinn's like, okay, let me just go to New Jersey.
Well, if that's the case, so say if Quinn does sign the 3-year deal, right? And then Jack gets to his last year of his deal. You try to extend him. If you can't extend him, then you trade him. Obviously, he doesn't want to be in New Jersey at that point. And you can get a haul, assuming that his career is 100-point-a-year type performance without injuries in the next 3 years. So it's not like the Devils. It's not like the Devils are going to lose Jack Hughes just like that. Worst case scenario.
No. I'm saying what we don't want, like, if Quinn signs a 3-year deal with Minnesota, then it's gonna be rough. But if they just get trounced like the next 2 games, Colorado just like, yeah, that's cute with your 1 win. We're moving on here. Then it's like,
it could happen.
Maybe I can just talk to Bill and see if we could work a trade out over to Jersey over the summer instead.
Yeah.
And go over there.
I'm wondering if Colorado's going to put Mackenzie Blackwood in. Or
today or tomorrow?
Yeah. Or they stick with Wedgwood.
It's hard because, that series has been so wild.
Yeah.
The first game, there's 16 goals scored, and then Colorado scored another, 5 or 6 in the second game? I think they had 5. What was it, 5-2, I think, in the second game? So, I don't know. They might go back to Wedgwood.
Yeah.
Just like Minnesota went back to Malstad. So, maybe that's what it'll be. We'll see. But I think we really don't want Quinn signing that 3-year contract.
Yeah.
That's just setting things up for
that's
a lot of drama.
But that's out of Sonny's hands, though. He can't.
That's out of Sonny's hands. Yeah, of course. But if Colorado, then maybe Quinn is looking at this like, well, Minnesota ain't no guarantee. I don't know if they can get through Colorado. Hells, I don't even, if Edmonton gets a goalie, I don't know if they can get through Edmonton. So maybe then it's like, all right, let me talk to Billy G, see if we can work out a deal. Especially while the Devils have some of this stuff that they are willing to part ways with, like a Seamus, Casey, Shimon Nemitz, Dougie, that first round pick, wherever that's going to go. I don't know if it's going to go to Toronto. I mean, me. I'm a big fan of Matty Nyes. I don't know if they're going to give Brady Tkachuk. I don't know if they're going to trade him. I think they're going to go. I think everyone up there in Canada was going to get another year. But
yeah,
same thing with Austin Matthews. I would be shocked But then again, what's his name?
Well,
he makes a lot of bad deals. So,
I mean, who started that idea of Nico Hischier, going up to, Toronto? Was that a hypothetical that was put out there by the media? Like, Austin wants out of Toronto, New Jersey, Nico Hischier, 1 more year left on his contract, new GM. I mean, I can't imagine the conversation between Nico Hischier and Sonny Mehta was like Pete Alonso and Steve Cohen, where Nico Hischier would tell Sonny Mehta, while I'm being inducted on a Hall of Fame, you're still tweaking your numbers or so, whatever he said.
I mean, I think I actually mentioned that a few months ago when we were talking about, different moves that can be made.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what we were just discussing, and throwing ideas out there. Because the fact, Nico is so valuable, teams would want him, and he is in the last year of his contract, so that's where that whole, I mean, I don't know if people actually heard, but I know I mentioned something like that, just, spitting ideas out there. Because obviously this was before we had Sonny and we were still with Fitz, and who the hell knows what he would have came up with, in the offseason. That's, could be a random move there. But I don't know. I just don't see Toronto. Well, maybe with what's his name now as the GM, they'll make some stupid deals. But I would think you would give Austin Matthews another chance to rebound in Toronto. Just one more shot.
Yeah. I'm going to answer this question. Dubs is like. He says, Mehta has not fired enough people yet. He needs to get to rid the organization of all the Fitzgerald's remnants. The guy wrecked everything. Why are all these people still here? In defense of Sonny Mehta, I think he's smart by not going guns blazing and firing everybody right away. There's a lot of intel he needs. When Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment bought the team, they kept everything pretty much as is for a year, so they could figure out what's going on. They didn't want to do too much too soon because they bought the team September of 2013. So it's not like you're gonna fire the GM then and Lou and all that kind of stuff. I think what Sonny Mehta is doing is he's analyzing and he's collecting information before he makes any decisions. Then you fire him. You don't fire him right away when you get there, unless you're somebody useless like Chuck Fletcher. He destroys any NHL team he ever.
Any team he touches, he destroys.
Dan McKinnon. I think he put his best forward, but he's just not going to fit with Sonny Mehta. I think that's trying to be nice.
I think that, we've seen some of the articles too about Sonny trying to pry McCabe away from Florida. Yep. I think, Dubs, it will slowly happen. It's just not going to be a new regime cleaning house type of deal. It's going to go slow and steady, because maybe Sonny does find, maybe there are some people that were possibly, I don't know. I don't know the entire overhaul of the team off the top of my head like that, but maybe there are some people that are still there from when Sonny was there, or maybe that he's got a good working rapport with. But I do expect there will be some more names, moved on from, but I think Sonny's going to do it the right way. He's not going to just jump into it, rush and fire everyone. He's going to go and see and make the selections that he wants. And he's going to try and get that situated first. Can we actually get this person over here on the team? If not, okay, maybe let's analyze who we already have. Is this a person we can do a reset with and move on, or is this someone we need to move on from? So I think he's going to take his time with it, but you will see changes, but not in the whole, fire everybody and start all over.
Yeah, you got to find out what went wrong. You got, we talk about it as fans on this podcast from an outside point of view. He's actually internally, he's going to find out what happened here. If the analytics, what were your numbers? What were the analytics? How are you getting these numbers? What are you doing here? Blah, 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 blah. How come this is not happening? What happened with these no movement clauses? Why did we do that? He's got to find out all this stuff. If you fire everybody right away, you may not get down to the root cause of all these problems. You fire them after you find out, when you don't need these people anymore. That's all. That's right. That's just like common sense in a sense. But in terms of bringing his own people, it's not a guarantee he can bring in Brian McCabe. So you can't just, you can't just fire everybody left and right. I'm actually pretty impressed with Mehta that he did not come with a preconceived notion and just being, abrupt. He has time to think things over before he makes those decisions. So I'm actually now my greatest fear, and I'm going to pivot, Scotty, because you know me. My greatest fear is there's still no president of hockey operations, and I don't think there will be. The way, what's taking so long? Is that going to happen? And it all goes back to, are they under the same organizational structure like the previous two regimes, the Fitzgerald and the Shiro, where, there's no president of hockey operations, and Sonny Mehta has to report directly to David Blitzer, who has his hands in everything. Now, as an observation, because I like to observe the other sports franchises in the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment portfolio to see how they're doing, like the Commanders, like the Sixers. Well, let me tell you something. And this is my greatest fear. And I'm going to mark this down, Scotty. And one of these, this is what I said on this day. My greatest fear, what happened in Philadelphia with the 76ers, I know it's basketball, but basically the New York Knicks kicked the crap out of that team. That's basketball side. But allowing, not once, but twice, because it happened a couple years ago, the New York Knicks fans to absolutely invade their building as if it was their own and literally hijacked it for games 3 and 4. The Sixers got eliminated, got blown out by, 40 points, whatever. But to allow it twice reminded me how fearful I was during the Devils-Rangers series in 2023 that might happen. And that again, this ownership group, Scotty, and you may disagree, you may think I'm off topic, they don't know how to win. And nor, on top of that, I cannot, Philly sports, say what you want about them, they're passionate fans. And I remember the days, Sixers fans, the Charles Barkley days, the Allen Iverson days, when Pat Croce owned the team. Those weren't the same fans that I remember back in the day. Where did they go? And it just seems like, and watching the game day production, I felt so bad for those Sixers employees that had to do the game day production when it sounded like it was 95% Knicks fans in a playoff game. This is not regular season. Your team is 9-70. This is a playoff game, and watching the owners, and I was watching them on TV, games 3 and 4. They abandoned their seats today with 7 minutes to go in the game, and I don't know. When I compare, this is the same ownership that owns the Devils. I just hope that kind of stuff does not happen in New Jersey. I'm going to tell you that because I would be pissed. I'd be pissed.
It's happened a number of times where Ranger fans have taken over.
Not like that, Scotty. Not like that. Not like that. I'm talking like I sent you that picture of somebody from the 7-line army, somebody with the Mets jersey, on in the middle of the court sweeping the Sixers logo. That's not supposed to happen. That stuff's not supposed to happen. It was a complete takeover. It's a complete takeover, and it's mismanagement. Not knowing your fan base, not knowing the pulse of the fan base. When the Sixers fans, pregame trying to get this "Let's Go Sixers" chants, and all the Knicks fans just booed them out of the building. And this is before the game. That's what I'm afraid of. That the Knicks fans have given the Rangers fans a blueprint how to be annoying. Because and Sixers fans, I remember going to Knicks Sixers back in the day. That was an intimidating place. It's just like the Knicks fans just walked in and walked all over them. So I'm afraid that that's going to happen with the Devils. And, and just watching Blitzer and their families on front, first row, just watching their body language, because I watched David Blitzer, from at the Devils games and all that. I don't know. That's the one thing that has me worried, Scotty.
All right. Well, I feel like that's something we've always been dealing with Ranger fans anyway. So
not like that. Not like that. Not like that, Scotty.
There were some lean years, dude.
Oh, if you say not recently, but I'm talking maybe 25 years ago, you have a point, but not. This is 2026.
I don't think that'll happen to us now. I think the team is too popular now, and there's more generations of Devils fans now. But I wouldn't worry about it. The Sixers have just been terrible for so long, and I don't know. No one cares about them down there anymore. It's all Phillies and Eagles
because of the owners.
Because they're winning. Well, they don't win. They've been terrible even before the Harris Blitzer took over. They were friggin' terrible.
No, they weren't. Nope.
Yeah, they were. They were
under the Iverson. No, they went to the championship game. Under Iverson, they were always in the playoffs.
I don't recall that.
No. And then once Harris Blitzer bought the team, they went from like a 40, 45. They were average team. I'm not saying that they were, but they were at least over 500 by a game or two. And then once the Harris Blitzer bought them, they broke the NBA record for the suckiest team. They were in the playoffs. They were in the playoffs before they bought him. For that, from 1998, they were rising up until 2010, 2011. They were always in the playoffs. Maybe a couple years they weren't. When Pat Croce owned that team, that was an exciting venue. That was he was like the fans type owner because he was a fan himself. He was like another Vanderbeek, an entrepreneur in the area, trying to whatever. When Pat Croce owned that team, as soon as Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment bought that team, freaking, it was embarrassing the NBA where they had to get involved. The NBA literally told them, you better hire these guys because you don't know what you're doing. And they had this GM that was all about numbers, Sam Hinkie or something. I forgot his last name. And then, what did they have? One season they were 8-74? Or 10-72? I don't even follow the Sixers, but I used to follow basketball, like the Barkley years, the Iverson years. Like they were selling out. They were selling out the building. It was an intimidating place at the FU Center back in the day with Allen Iverson, and they had some good teams. They had some good teams.
I mean, I'm looking at it. They had one first place finish in the last 30 years. 2.
Yeah, it was probably in the late 90s or early 2000s.
No. I mean, they had one. No, they were first place in 2020, 2021.
That doesn't count. That's
49
COVID
and
years.
23.
That's COVID years.
That
doesn't count.
I think they played a full season, though. This is 49 and 23. That's a full season. No, I mean, the Sixers were, I mean, when did they take over? 2015?
No, 2011, 2012. Look at their record when they put, I think it was after the 2011 season. I think they took over and they made the playoffs in their first year. Then they started meddling, and it just went downhill. It went absolutely downhill.
And then they went up.
Yeah, after the NBA came in, Scotty. After the NBA came in, they instituted the Colangelos to run the team. They were forced to have them run the team. Either Adam Silver and David Stearns, the late David Stearns. I don't know who was commissioner at the time. And then the Colangelos, the younger one, had a Twitter burner account, and he got himself fired because he was using that Twitter burner account to trash talk another player to bang him down on the price. Like, it's a circus. It's a circus in Philadelphia, the Sixers. And, Jay Snow says the Sixers were tanking for draft picks. But the NBA was concerned about the NBA brand, what they were doing. And that's, again, I've been saying this all along. I have no faith in this ownership group at all. I'm just hoping that they'll get lucky with Sonny Mehta. But is Sonny Mehta going to be allowed to do what he wants to do? Or is this going to be another puppet scenario? I hope not. For Sonny's sake, I hope not. Maybe they learned their lesson. Maybe they realize they suck as owners, and maybe somebody else should handle it, and they just reap the rewards and just watch the team win. Maybe that will happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Sixers were pretty bad before that, though, too. I mean,
like where?
Just looking at their,
like what years?
Okay. 2003, they're 33 and 49. 2004, they're 43 and 39. Then they're 38 and 44. Then they're 35 and 47. 40 and 42. 41 and 41. 27 and 55. They're like a 500 team, if that.
Yeah, they're a 500 team, and then once they bought the team, guess what happened?
Well, they went down for 3 years, and then they shot back up.
Because the NBA got involved. Otherwise,
I just think the Sixers have been a trash organization for a long time. I mean, I think that's the main reason why the fans have really stepped away. Is even because I feel like even before Harris Blitzer bought them, they were a crap organization. Even in the 90s, they had like 4 or 5 years where they were the worst team in the league. So I don't know. I just feel like that team has just been struggling. And I don't know. The Commanders, listen, first year they went to the NFC Championship game. So that's a tough one.
That was luck. That was such luck. That was
further than Snyder ever took them. So in the 20 years that he owned the team.
I'll tell you what. If you ask any Commanders ex-employees which ownership group they'd rather work for, they'll say Snyder 100%.
I don't know about that. I mean, the guy was a complete and utter piece of trash garbage. I mean, he literally got run out of the NFL. I don't know about that one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one right there.
I'll get you people to call you up, Scotty, and let you know.
All right. Well, if they want to work in a sexual harassment type of workplace, then maybe they can go ahead.
No, I'm not. First
I
off,
don't think that's a. Good,
that's not what.
That's not a good.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually working for an organization. Right now it's completely different. Completely different. It is a hollow organization. I'll talk to you off air about it. Everybody's neutered. Devils fans, what they did. Everybody got neutered once they got involved.
Well, Sonny is hopefully I don't think Sonny will be I just lost it. Sonny won't be neutered. I think he's too smart for all that. But he is going to have a little bit of wiggle room as well, because just some updates on some contracts here. Jack Hughes, obviously he had no protection. He moves to a 10 as of July 1st, 10-team no trade clause. Stefan Nason, it gets lowered. He had a 10-team no trade clause. He moves down to a 7-team no trade clause. Brendan Dillon, no movement clause, changes to a 10-team no trade clause. Jacob Markstrom, from a no movement clause to a thanks Fitzy, 20-team no trade list there.
More
so
teams.
We do have a little bit. We do have a little bit of flexibility though, in that sense. Instead of the no movement clauses, at least these 10-team and 20-team. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Markstrom, that's the big issue on this team, is what are they going to do in goal? Are they going to stick with Markstrom for another year or two and hope that Yegorov or I believe it's Malik, or is it Malik? I don't know.
I think it's Malik.
Is it Malik? Okay, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Are they hoping that those two are going to pan out? Are they going to try and trade for a Connor Hellebuck? I don't know. But 20-team, no trade clause. I mean, no trade clause, 20-team. Yikes. That's difficult to find.
I bet you the other teams that the Devils could trade him to, they probably already have a goaltender.
Who would be on his yes list?
The Rangers? I have no idea.
Back up Shesterkin? I don't think Markey would go for that.
Carolina?
Where would he want it? Ooh,
I mean, Freddie Anderson is going to be a free. He's going to be a free agent after this season.
That is true.
So he may get overpaid like Kemper. You never know. You never know with that scenario. Let's see here. Florida's looking for a goaltender right now because Bobrovsky is going to be a free agent as well. Could they re-sign him?
He's got some ties down there. Maybe. That might be. I like the way you're thinking there, Sam Woo. I like the way you're thinking there.
Or Sonny tells Big Dave, the big guy, hey, why don't we send Markstrom down the AHL and just eat that contract? It wasn't my fault.
Well, that is an option now because the no movement clause is no more. Before, Jacob Markstrom would have had to agree to that. Now, he doesn't have that protection anymore. So that does become an option for this team. Does he end up if that does happen, does he just sit out and demand a trade? Is that breach of contract?
I I mean, who was the idiot that extended him? He's no longer here.
He's fishing for a Nashville job is what he's doing.
And he still hasn't gotten it yet, which I think is funny.
Yeah, he still has. Yeah. I don't think he's going to, but.
Yeah.
What is it? 6'2"? 6'2" now? Man.
I'm not watching the game. I don't have the feed in the bunker.
Canadians. Man, if they take out Buffalo. Whew. This is game this is game 3, right? So they got another one up in Montreal.
If Montreal wins this series, let me tell you, there is bad blood between the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. You remember that a few years ago?
What happened? I don't remember.
I remember, was there poaching or there was a restricted free agent issue?
Oh,
you remember that? Was it with Aho or I remember it was ugly. It was ugly. Both of them. Somebody remind me what happened. But I remember Carolina and Montreal, like the two organizations don't like each other. At least from the front office standpoint. I don't know if it's still going on. Crap. I'm trying to remember. Are you Googling it right now?
No.
Oh, I'm going to Google
I was just looking at some of the comments over here. Yes, Michael. Hey, that's probably the last time the Sixers were actually really good is when Dr. J was on the team.
All right, here we go. Yeah, Aho and Suzuki. All right, so this is what happened.
Oh, okay.
In 2019, Montreal Canadiens famously signed Carolina Hurricanes center Sebastian Aho to a 5-year, $42.27 million offer sheet, which Carolina immediately matched. The deal, featuring a high signing bonus, sparked a rivalry, with Carolina later trolling Montreal by signing Kotkaniemi to an offer sheet in 2021. Forgot about that. So this is going to be, yeah.
And Montreal's going to have some momentum here, obviously, with another game at home too, being up 2-1. They got a chance to go up 3-1, and if they end up losing game 5 back in Buffalo, then they still get that game 6 in Montreal where, like you were talking about, Montreal Canadiens fans are not going to let anyone take over that arena.
Yeah.
Unlike the Sixers, in Sixers fans in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be big momentum for them here.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be a great series between the two Carolina Hurricanes. Sebastian Aho right now, he's still on the Hurricanes.
Well, it's not over yet. The Sabres have been resilient all year long, obviously. But just with a 6-2 victory and then another game at home, obviously, you're thinking momentum is on Montreal's side here.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that crowd, that Montreal crowd at the Bell Center, it doesn't get any better than that. That's just an intimidating arena. If you're the opposing team,
definitely.
They've got a lot of history. They are like the amount of Stanley Cups that they've won. They haven't won one since '93, but there's history there, and then you add in all these shenanigans recently.
We got some fisticuffs going here at the end of the game as well, so it's gonna get nasty. But yeah, the Canadiens fans are the opposite of the Maple Leaf fans, because the Maple Leaf fans, they hate their own team, for good reasons. But you got to give credit to. A lot of times you get these ex-players as coaches and stuff like that. Their first team, you don't know how well they're going to do. Marty friggin' St. Louis. dude, he's coaching, the way he used to play.
Yep.
And he seems to have these guys inspired. And
also credit the Canadiens front office, because in Montreal, the media will hound you and sticking to their guns. They could have fired him a long time ago, but they stuck with him. And, again, they stuck with him. The Canadiens were bad for a while. And I remember the Canadiens and the Devils when they played, was in April. I think it was in April. And talking to the Canadiens fans, that this team is like giving them hope. Like, they've been bad for a while. And I mean, yeah, they went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2020, but that was a COVID, that was a COVID setup. Nobody was there. So.
Yeah.
But
they had a nice Cinderella run that year, though. No one was expecting them to get there.
Yeah,
they were fun to watch in the playoffs.
Yeah,
as that bottom seed, right? I think they were the 8th seed, just sneaking in there.
Yeah, they snuck in there. I think the Rangers make the playoffs, but somehow they got the first overall pick. In the 2020 draft. Talk about
probably
rigged.
Somehow, yeah.
Talked about
somehow,
rigged.
yeah.
How about John Chayka getting hired? And then called a con artist by the media in the press conference, and the next day he gets the first overall pick. How about that? And Matt Sundin's just sitting there like, yep, I'm just going to make sure he doesn't steal anything.
So, yeah, Matt is just like, well, nothing has changed since I retired from here. This is all the same as it was back then.
As long as I get paid, I'll be loved by the fans either way, but as long as I get paid. I just got to make sure this bozo doesn't steal anything.
Yes. But I see. Oh, damn, we're almost at the end of time here. To bring it all back, though, because I know I've seen a lot of this in the chat over here, and to follow up with what Sam Woo is saying about the Sixers. I think they do a better job with the Commanders, because I think Harris actually really likes that team and he wants to see them win, and he's at every single game. So I think that's where the majority of their mind power and everything goes. It definitely doesn't go to Philadelphia. You're right. They're a terribly run franchise down there.
I will say this though, both owners showed emotion on watching the game, both of them, because I observed, but they show a lot more emotion and they were more into those games than they are at Devils games, because I watch them there too. And it's funny because at the Devils games they're usually on their phones. At the Knicks Sixers game, they were definitely engaged. Let's put it that way.
I think Harris really, I don't know about Blitzer, but I think Harris just really is just focused on Commanders football, and that's it. Because that dude is at every friggin' game on the sidelines, cheering them on and everything.
Now, I watched his wife both 3 and 4. She's really into the Sixers. You could tell. She was even when the Knicks were on the foul line, she was making hand motions and all that kind of stuff to try to distract the guys. I thought that was funny.
She was the only one, I heard. But my final thought.
Yep, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that because I saw a number of people in the chat. What's up, by the way? We didn't say Selecta, Jay Snow, Metalander. We already talked to you. Michael Hay, who had it? Was it Dubs? Pete, what's going on? There still needs to be a president of hockey operations. Sam was mentioning this before. I am in complete agreement with him. I don't think it should be Blitzer that is making the call on these things. I don't know if they were looking at Shanahan and maybe he's holding out for some other positions, or maybe there's a money squabble, or something along those lines, but I think it is extremely important to get someone with actual hockey sense and knowledge in there as the president of operations. Someone that can work with, but also hold accountable Sonny and the entire front office team. Personally, I think a Brendan Shanahan would be a great fit as a former, New Jersey Devil, but also a former player and former president of operations up there in Toronto, too.
Somebody with credibility.
Someone who knows hockey.
Yep.
Who knows that you do have to fight on the ice. It's part of the game. You can't just let people take runs at you. You have to know how to work a hockey franchise and the hockey, culture on the ice. There's certain things that just have to be done. And we know it wasn't happening with this team the last number of years. They look great on paper, but when they get out there, pieces are missing.
I'm going to send David.
Depth.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the depth's not there. The scouting hasn't been, that great. Development hasn't been top notch. You need someone who really knows that stuff and who is going to be that strong leadership on the top. Someone like a Lou or like a Ray who weren't afraid to tell the owners to bleep off. Because the owners don't know hockey like that. Like Sam was just saying. You see Harris at those Commanders games, he's on the sideline, running out there on every Sixers games, you're saying they're at the Devils games, they're on their phone. You need someone who really, really, truly loves the sport, loves the team. We got that with Sonny. Now we also need, that counterpart, that president of hockey operations. It's a really, really important step for this team if we want to move forward. If you want to stay in neutral, then you go with Blitzer. If you want to move forward and actually be a perennial playoff team who is making, successful runs, deep runs. I don't say successful, that means winning the Stanley Cup, but making deep runs or a threat to every single year, you need that president of hockey operations.
Great final thought.
How about you, Sam Woo?
I was about to say, I would send my resume to David Blitzer for president of hockey operations position so I can oversee Sonny. But then again, I can't even get a interview with NJ.com on that Devils beat writer position either. So let's just knock that off. Look.
I heard David Blitzer saw one episode of The Morning Woo and then decided never to.
Yeah.
Look at Sam Woo's resume.
Yeah, I'm probably blacklisted by HR. This guy again? Just throw that resume. Yeah, guy.
They definitely got your picture hanging up. Like, don't let this guy into the front office facilities.
The guy dresses in a cookie costume every game. You think we're going to let him in through that door? What, Mrs. Fields night?
That's what I would love. A president of hockey operations on the big screen in a cookie costume for the Mrs. Fields race. I mean, that's someone who loves the Devils and loves the fans. Give me Sam Woo.
Yeah. In all seriousness, again, Meta was saying that Meta decisions will be filtered through Blitzer. If I'm wrong, Madigan will be fired. Look, Kate Madigan's holding a lot of information right now. I'm sure that they're asking her for the password for all these accounts to get to the data at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen with her or the rest of the staff as Sonny's trying to build his own team. But, my concerns, I think, are valid. Are we repeating? Ask yourself, are we repeating history again? You got to make some changes to move the needle. And that's Sonny Mehta is going to have to look. Are we that far off, or are we way off? It's who knows. So I'll leave it at this: that in Sonny we trust. I guess hope for the best. Because after watching the Sixers just absolutely get dominated in their own building, I hope that doesn't happen to us when we make the playoffs again. I just hope it doesn't. So, and also, Scotty, before we go, I got some questions about the morning woo and all that. I'm putting. Oh,
more. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm putting those. Putting it on hold for now, just a pause, trying to figure out things. How new formatting, all that kind of stuff. I need to think about things. That's all. Think about things. So, but it'll be back. I'm sure at some point. But
you got the WooCast now.
Yeah. I got the daily WooCast and all that stuff.
Yeah. So if you're looking for your daily dose of Sam Woo, listen, Sam got a new job. He's got to be out early in the morning.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't as early. So now it kind of makes a little bit more sense life-wise for Sam to do an afternoon podcast. Yeah. And that's why we have the daily WooCast now. It's all the same fun we had in our morning Woo, but now it's just happening a little bit later in the afternoon.
Yeah. So I'm going to figure it out. But there's also the other thing too, Scotty, that people don't know behind the scenes. There are the technical challenges as well, because there have been some. So it's not that easy when.
Boy.
Yeah.
Ducks are up.
Wow.
1-0.
Wow.
10 minutes into the first. Woo.
Yeah. So.
No, but yeah, Sam has been working hard behind the scenes to do all that stuff. And yeah, it is challenging doing things remotely and on the go and everything like that. So Sam is really working hard to, hell's bells, bring you a podcast from his car, like on his lunch break. So he's thinking of you out there. Yeah. So give him some support on the daily WooCast, which will be happening after. Do we have like a standard time for the WooCast?
Again, I don't know yet. That's
okay.
Everything is in flux.
TBD.
Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah. Because it's also doing the WooCast. Again, there's technical challenges behind the scenes that people don't see. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right, and it's going to be easy, and boom, it's going to be out there. So that's all.
Well, just make sure that hair gets a good view. Get that framed up really nice and good there, buddy. Woo! And on fire.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Selected Boy. He says, trust me, I'm grateful for
There you go.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well, we're getting out of here. Dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Prime, Audible, and on the iHeart app. Well, Scotty, I'll see you next week, hopefully. And
yes.
Again, happy Mother's Day out there.
Yeah.
To all the moms
happy Mom's
out there.
Day. And all the pet moms, too.
Yeah. And big shout out to Beer Baron. I don't want him to think that I forgot about him, like the intro I did a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Don't forget about Beer Baron on Mother's Day. Yeah.
Till Till next time, let's go Devils.